Hey guys, it's Freaky from Hello Hardware, and today we're going to do a review, yay, of the Lenovo ThinkPad W520 workstation laptop. So to begin, we're just going to go with the aesthetic look first of all. The aesthetics themselves, this machine's very nice. I really like this machine. I've had it for about 3 months now, and I totally enjoy the machine itself. We can go with the ports on the front and the back. I guess to start with the front, you've only got the standard latch and release for the lid itself. On this side here, you've got your CF reader and your SD card reader, your headphone jack, DVD RW, Ethernet port, and Kingston lock. On the back here, you have a standard USB port and a power connector. It's a 20-volt power connector that plugs into there. On this side, you've got your vent unit, your DP port or display port, VGA port, 2 USB 3.0 sockets, 1 external serial ATA socket, FireWire socket, and your Wi-Fi on and off switch. The laptop itself is rather lightweight. It's not that heavy of a laptop, and to be honest, for the weight that this thing is, you're going to get a lot for the weight itself. So to continue on, we're going to open up the unit, set it down, let you take a peek on the inside. Alright folks, welcome back. So here you see we've got the laptop itself. I'm going to go ahead and pull that forward. Ooh, isn't that pretty now? Now, the W520 unit itself is a very powerful machine. This machine is very capable of pretty much handling anything you throw at it. To begin with, let's go ahead and take a look at the standard properties of this machine. So we'll start with the general information tab in Windows 7, I almost said XP, Windows 7 64-bit edition. The laptop is running an i7 2860QM, that's a mobile processor, running at 2.5 gigahertz. That is a 4-core, 8-thread processor. This particular unit also runs with 16 gigs of RAM, that's DDR3 RAM. And for the Windows Experience Index, we'll go ahead and click into that. And I'll explain the 5.9 rating you might be able to see on the monitor itself. But the processor and memory get a max score of 7.6. The graphics and the gaming graphics, and there is a distinction between the two, and we'll get into that, both receive a score of 6.9, while the primary hard disk receives a score of 5.9. Now, to begin with, the primary hard disk having a score of 5.9 is really incorrect. The original score it did have was a 6.9. The reason being as to why the score is lower now is I did swap out the hard drive. Now we'll get into that in a second as I get into the specs. So let's go ahead and go to the specifications of the machine. So we'll talk about the graphics for a second. The main primary graphics card for this machine that runs pretty much all your standard graphics is your Intel HD 3000 graphics family chip. That handles all of your standard applications and some of your main applications as well. Your secondary GPU is an NVIDIA Quadro 2000M 2 gig dedicated graphics chip card. This is capable of handling all your games, all your workstation applications, pretty much anything you throw at it at this current time. To give you an example, I have been able to play Battlefield 3 on this laptop, running at about 30 frames per second at a full 1080p resolution at about high settings. I'm not saying max settings, I'm saying high settings. At about max settings, it definitely kills the frame rate on the machine. I mean, this machine truly isn't meant for gaming purposes, but where I do a lot of trips, I tend to take this with me, and I do a little bit of gaming, so this machine does get a little bit of use for that. The hard drive itself that was originally with this machine was a 160 gig solid state drive. Unfortunately, that was the max option when this machine was ordered. It could not have any other options, so therefore, when we got the machine in, I swapped it out with a 750 gig hybrid solid state drive. It's not as fast as a standard solid state, but the higher capacity for not so expensive prices definitely made it worth the idea to upgrade. The laptop itself has two different mice attached to it. You have your standard Touchpad Mouse, as well as your pencil eraser mouse. The pencil eraser mouse actually has 3 mouse buttons, while the touchpad runs with 2. You also have a fingerprint reader, which I do not have the software installed for, because that is the most annoying software in the world. So that's no-go from this machine. My other big gripe while ordering this, other than the hard drive, was that the DVD-RW drive that comes standard with these units cannot be upgraded to a Blu-ray drive. You can, through third-party means, get a Blu-ray drive, but for this particular model, when you're ordering from Lenovo, you are not able to get a Blu-ray drive. I do know that the W540s do have an option to do that, but not the W520s. So we'll get on to my major pros and cons. The biggest pro I have about this machine is that it's ultra portable. It's a 15.1 inch screen, which some people may think is a con, but to me this is a pro. And why is that? Because it allows this unit to stay small and lightweight without having to add in anything else. The graphics chip on this can easily handle anything that's thrown at it. So this machine is literally the best ultra portable machine you can really have at this time. It's very capable of handling anything that you put in front of it. It will handle it just fine. I absolutely love this unit. Taking it on trips, it's able to do everything I need it to. I can do video editing, I can do my web development work with it, and I can play the occasional game to blow off some steam. The cons I have with this unit, again, is you can only order it with a 160 gig max solid state drive. You can only get it with a DVD-R slot. And my biggest pet peeve about this machine is that it only has a headphone jack. There is no microphone input, which I think would really have benefited this machine a lot. This monitor itself does have 2 microphone inputs where you can actually speak and it'll pick you up fine. But I don't think the microphones are the highest quality. Another issue I have is the external speakers are just not good enough to handle anything multimedia based. You can plug in headphones and have no problem at all because the onboard chip for the sound is really good. I believe it's AC97 HD audio. I'm not 100% certain. But the speakers themselves just do not handle anything at a high decibel rating. These things, even on Macs, they play really low. So I'm not a big fan of that. But if you are going on trips and you plan on doing certain things, then having a pair of headphones isn't exactly a bad idea. These are a cheaper pair that I use once in a while. So that's one of my big pet peeves. My other problem with this machine is that when the i7 processor and the graphics chip run at full steam, this machine gets hot. So to remedy that, I had to purchase one of these. This is a Cooler Master Lap Cool. I believe that's a 240 millimeter fan that's centered in the center of the unit itself. Cools the laptop really well. So if you are looking at purchasing one of these beautiful ThinkPad models, definitely invest a little bit of money into getting the fan unit to cool this unit down. So about all in all, I give it a 4 out of 5 rating. Biggest reason again is that this is just an ultra portable machine. It handles everything that you put at it, and it really is a great machine.